7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit number 1, Proactivity. Imagine you are playing a video game. You are the hero, and the game world reacts to whatever you do. If you choose to run into danger, the game will make things harder for you. But if you think ahead, plan your moves, and react to challenges smartly, you can level up faster and win the game. In real life, proactivity is like being the hero in that video game. But instead of dodging monsters or jumping over obstacles, you are handling the situation that come your way in life. Proactive people don't wait for things to happen to them. They make things happen. What is proactivity? Proactivity means taking control of your actions and decisions rather than reacting to events. It's about planning ahead, being prepared, and solving problems before they get worse. It's the opposite of being passive or waiting for someone else to make a change. It's like being the driver of your life instead of sitting in the passenger seat. Let's understand the power of proactivity with a story. Rahul was a 10th grade student who had an important school project due in 2 weeks. He was a little nervous because his last few projects had been rushed and he wasn't happy with his grades. This time, he decided he wanted to do better. So he thought, what can I do differently to get a better result? Rahul didn't wait for his teacher to remind him about the project. He took action early. The first thing he did was break the project down into smaller tasks: research, writing, creating the presentation, and practicing the presentation. Then he set a schedule. Instead of spending hours on the project all at once, she spread out the work over several days. Each day, Rahul worked on his project for an hour. Some days he finished the research, other days he worked on his presentation slides. On weekends, he practiced speaking in front of a mirror to get comfortable with the material. Whenever he faced a problem, like finding the right information or deciding how to make his slides look interesting, Rahul found a solution. He asked his teacher for help, searched online, and even talked to his friends for advice. He wasn't waiting for things to go wrong. He was solving problems before they could even happen. On the day of the presentation, Rahul was calm and confident. He was ready because he had planned ahead and worked on his project little by little. He wasn't stressed out at the last minute, trying to finish everything in a rush. His teacher and classmates were impressed with his project, and Rahul got the highest grade he had ever received. Now the question is, why being proactive matters? Being proactive is important because life doesn't always go as planned. Things will go wrong and you'll face challenges. But if you're proactive, you can turn problems into opportunities for growth. Let's say Rahul had waited until the night before the project was due to start. He would have felt stressed, rushed, and likely wouldn't have been able to do his best work. On the other hand, by being proactive, he managed his time well, solved problems early, and achieved success. Now that we understand what proactivity is, let's look at the opposite: being reactive. Aryan also had a project due in 2 weeks, but unlike Rahul, Aryan didn't plan ahead. He kept putting off the work, thinking he still had plenty of time. He didn't start until the night before the project was due. By then, he was stressed and couldn't focus. He rushed through the research and created a sloppy presentation and barely practiced his speaking. When the day of the presentation came, he was nervous and stumbled over his words. Aryan's project didn't go well. His teacher gave him a low grade, and he felt disappointed. Aryan wished he had been more proactive like Rahul. So the differences between Rahul and Aryan is simple. Rahul was proactive and Aryan was reactive. Proactive people don't wait for things to happen. They take control and make things happen. They plan ahead, take responsibility, and solve problems before they get worse. If you want to succeed in school, in life, or in any challenge you face, try to be proactive like Rahul. Take control, make a plan, and act before the problems arise. You'll find that life becomes easier and you'll feel more confident and ready for whatever comes your way. Always remember, you are the hero of your own story. Be proactive and you'll level up in your life. Habit number 2, begin with the end in the mind. Imagine you are about to go on a trip. Before you leave, you'd probably decide where you want to go, right? You wouldn't just pack a bag, jump in a car, and drive randomly without knowing your destination. That would be confusing and you might waste a lot of time. Life is a lot like this. To succeed, you need to know where you are heading, what your goal or end is, and then plan your journey accordingly. This idea, begin with the end in the mind, It means thinking about your ultimate goal before you start anything. It's about knowing what you want and then making choices that lead you closer to that result. Well, what does it mean? Begin with the end in the mind is a simple way of saying know your purpose, whether it's a project, a dream, or your future. Start by imagining the result you want, then work backward to figure out the steps to get there. This habit helps you stay focused and avoid wasting time or effort. So let's understand this concept better with her story. Ria was a 10th grade student who loved art. One day, her teacher announced a school-wide painting competition. Excited Ria grabbed her brushes and colors, ready to start. She began painting right away without thinking much about what she wanted to create. She painted random shapes, mixed bright colors, and added details as she went along. After a few hours, she stepped back to look at her work. The painting felt messy and confusing. It didn't look like anything meaningful, and she wasn't happy with it. Frustrated, Ria decided to start over. This time, she paused and asked herself, what kind of painting do I really want to create? What story do I want it to tell? Ria imagined a peaceful forest at sunset. She could see the golden sky, the tall trees, and a sparkling river in her mind. Now that she knew what her painting should look like, she sketched the outline first, carefully choosing colors that matched her vision. Step by step, she worked on the painting with her goal in mind. When she finished, it looked exactly as she had imagined, a beautiful, calming scene. Ria felt proud, and her painting won first prize in the competition. So, what did we learn from this story? Ria's first attempt failed because she didn't know what she wanted. She started without a clear idea of the final result, and that led to confusion and wasted effort. But in her second attempt, she began with the end in the mind. She imagined the result she wanted and planned her steps to achieve it. That's why she succeeded. This idea doesn't just apply to painting, it works in every area of life. Begin with the end in the mind is not just about schoolwork or projects. It's about your whole life. Think about what kind of person you want to be in the future. What kind of job do you want? How do you want to contribute to the world? What kind of relationships do you want? When you know your ultimate end, you can make decisions today that bring you closer to that future. If you are watching this video till now, then I have a challenge for you. Take a moment to think about one goal you want to achieve. It could be related to school, a hobby, or your future career. Ask yourself, what does success look like for this goal? What steps can I take to reach it? How will I feel when I achieve it? Write it down and start working towards it. Begin with the end in the mind is like setting the destination before starting a journey. It helps you stay focused, make better choices, and achieve your goals, whether it's a painting, a project, or your dream career. Knowing what you want is the first step to success. Remember, you are the architecture of your life. Design it with purpose and you will create something amazing. Always ask yourself, what's my end? And then begin your journey with that vision in mind. Habit number 3. Put first things first. Imagine you are juggling 3 balls. One is made of glass, another is made of rubber, and the last one is made of plastic. Which ball would you focus on the most? The glass one, of course, because if it falls, it will break. Life is just like this. Every day, you have tasks and responsibilities that feel like juggling different balls. Some are more important than others. If you don't handle the most important ones carefully, you might face serious consequences. That's what the put first things first is all about. Well, what does put first things first mean? It means managing your time and energy wisely by giving priority to the things that are most important. Not all tasks are equally valuable. Some tasks bring you closer to your goals, while others waste time or feel urgent but don't really matter in the long run. When you put first things first, you focus on tasks that help you grow, succeed, and stay balanced, rather than just reacting to whatever pops up. Let's understand this with the story of Maya and her exam. Maya, a 10th grade student, had an important science exam coming up in 2 weeks. She wanted to score well but found herself distracted by other activities. Day 1. Maya started her day with a plan to study for 2 hours, but just as she sat down, her phone buzzed with a message from her best friend. They ended up chatting for an hour. Later, Maya watched some funny videos on YouTube. By the end of the video, she had barely studied. Day 2, Maya's teacher reminded the class to prepare for the exam. She felt guilty for wasting time and promised herself she would focus. But after school, her friends invited her to play video games. She thought, I will study later. She played for 3 hours and then felt too tired to study. Day 3, Maya started feeling anxious. She realized she was running out of time. She decided to change her approach. This time, she made a list of what was important and what wasn't. Studying for her exam was her top priority. Watching videos, chatting, and gaming were distractions. Maya created a schedule where she studied for 2 hours every day before doing anything else. She kept her phone in another room while studying and told her friends she'd join them only after finishing her work. By the time the exam arrived, Maya felt prepared and confident. She aced the test all because she put first things first. So, the lesson from Maya's story is clear. Maya succeeded because she prioritized studying the most important task over distractions. When she focused on what mattered most, she achieved her goal. This habit teaches us that we cannot do everything at once. If we waste time on unimportant activities, we may not have enough time or energy for the things that truly matter. Stephen Covey explains this habit using the time management matrix, which divides tasks into 4 categories. Quadrant 1, important and urgent. These are the tasks that needed immediate attention, like finishing homework before the deadline or handling an emergency. For example, preparing a presentation due tomorrow. Quadrant 2, important but not urgent. These are the tasks that are key to long-term success but don't require immediate action. This is where you should spend most of your time. For example, studying daily, exercising, or planning your goals. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. These are the tasks that seem urgent but don't actually help you. These can distract you from important work. For example, replying to unimportant messages or attending unnecessary meetings. Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Time wasting activities that add no value. For example, watching random YouTube videos or scrolling endlessly on social media. By focusing on second quadrant tasks like Maya did, you prepare for the future and avoid last minute stress. Now you might be thinking, how can I put first things first? Here is a simple process to apply this habit. Number 1. Identify your priorities. Ask yourself, what is the most important to me right now? This could be studying for exams, improving a skill, or spending time with family. Number 2. Plan your day. Make a daily schedule that prioritizes important tasks. Number 3. Avoid distractions. Identify your time wasters like social media or unnecessary chatting and limit them. Number 4. Say no when needed. Learn to say no to activities that don't align with your priorities. For example, if you have to study, skip gaming with friends. Keep practicing this habit every day. Over time, it will become easier to focus on what matters. Put first things first is about focusing on what truly matters. It's a habit that helps you manage your time, energy, and life effectively. Just like Maya in this story, you can achieve great results by prioritizing important tasks and avoiding distractions. Remember, every day you are juggling tasks. Focus on the glass ball, the things that matter most, and handle them with care. That's how you succeed. Habit number 4. Think win-win. Imagine you're playing a video game with your best friend. You both want to win, but there's a twist. If one of you loses, the other doesn't get a prize either. What would you do? Instead of competing, you'd probably work together so you both can win, right? This is the mindset behind habit number 4. It's about creating situations where everyone benefits. It's not about being selfish, where only you win, or being a pushover where only others win. It's about finding solutions that make everyone feel happy and respected. What does think win-win mean? Think win-win is a mindset that focuses on cooperation, mutual respect, and shared success. It means looking for ways where you and others can succeed together instead of competing or trying to beat each other. When you adopt a win-win attitude, you build better relationships, solve conflicts peacefully, create trust and teamwork. What win-win is not. Win-lose. I win, you lose. This is a competitive mindset where only one person benefits, often at the expense of others. Lose-win. You win, I lose. This happens when you let others walk over you, ignoring your own needs. Loss-loss. If can't win, no one can. This destructive mindset leads to fights and failures for everyone. Let me guide you with a tale of two friends. Tony and Tom were best friends in 10th grade. One day, their teacher announced a science competition. The prize was a scholarship for a summer science camp. Both Tony and Tom were excited but realized they would be competing against each other. At first, they decided to work separately. Tony focused on building a robot while Tom worked on a chemistry experiment. But soon they ran into problems. Tony's robot wasn't working properly, and Tom's experiment wasn't getting the results he wanted. They started feeling frustrated. One day during lunch, Tony said, "What if we team up instead of competing? I'm good with building things and you are great at experiments. If we combine our skills, we might have a better chance of winning." Tom hesitated at first, but then agreed. They decided to create a project that combined robotics and chemistry, a robot that could detect harmful chemicals in water. By working together, Tony and Tom created a unique project that impressed the judges. They not only won the competition but also learned how teamwork made them stronger. Both of them got scholarships to the science camp, and their friendship became even stronger. The lesson from Tony and Tom is clear. Tony and Tom could have fought against each other, but instead, they choose to think win-win. By collaborating, they achieved something. Habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Imagine you are trying to talk to a friend about something important, but they keep interrupting you or assuming what you are going to say. Frustrating, right? Now flip the situation. What if you are the one not listening properly? Well, what does it mean? This habit is about empathetic listening, truly hearing what someone is saying, not just their words but their feelings too. Instead of thinking about what you will say next or judging the person, you focus on understanding them first. Once you have understood their perspective, you can share your ideas in a way that connects with them. Let me explain this to you with a story of Jack and the new kid. Jack was a 10th grader at Riverdale High School. He loved basketball and hanging out with his friends. One day, a new kid named Sam joined his class. Sam seemed quiet and didn't talk much. But Jack noticed something else. Sam always carried a sketchbook. During lunch, Jack saw Sam sitting alone, drawing something in his book. Jack decided to go over. "Hey, what are you doing?" Jack asked, trying to start a conversation. Sam quickly closed his sketchbook and mumbled, "Nothing." Jack felt awkward. He thought maybe he just doesn't want to talk. But instead of walking away, he tried a different approach. "You know what? I have always been terrible at drawing," Jack said. "My stick figures look like spaghetti." Sam chuckled a little. Jack continued, "You seem pretty good at it. Did you always like drawing?" This time Sam looked up and smiled. "Yeah, I've been drawing since I was a kid. It helps me relax." Jack listened as Sam explained how he loved sketching characters from his favorite comics and designing new ones. Jack didn't interrupt or try to talk about himself. He just listened. Over time, Sam opened up more, and Jack learned that Sam was nervous about starting at a new school. Jack invited him to join their basketball games after school, and soon Sam became friends with the whole group. By seeking to understand Sam first, Jack built a strong friendship that might not have happened otherwise. So, what's the lesson from Jack's story? Jack didn't push his own thoughts or opinion on Sam. Instead, he focused on understanding Sam's feelings and interests first. This made Sam feel valued and comfortable, which helped them connect. When you seek to understand someone before trying to be understood, you build trust, respect, and better relationships. But you know what? Listening is hard. Most people don't really listen, they just pretend to. Here's what often happens. Number 1, they interrupt, cutting someone off to share their own opinion. Number 2, they judge, deciding if the person is right or wrong before hearing them out. Number 3, they daydream, thinking about what to say next or zoning out instead of focusing. But when you listen empathetically, you make the other person feel heard and understood. If you want to know anybody, then practice habit number 5. Number 1, listen without interrupting. Let the other person finish speaking before you respond. Number 2, pay attention to feelings. Try to understand how they feel, not just what they say. Number 3, ask questions. Show interest by asking thoughtful questions. Number 4, repeat back what you hear. Say something like, "So you are saying you felt nervous about the test." This shows you are paying attention. Well, now you might be thinking why this all stuff is important. It is important because it builds stronger relationships. People feel valued when you truly listen to them. It solves problems better. When you understand the other person's perspective, it's easier to find solutions. And also, it reduces misunderstandings. Listening carefully avoids confusion or unnecessary arguments. Let me guide you with Emily and her mom. Emily, a 10th grader in Ohio, loved music and spent hours practicing her guitar. But lately, she'd been arguing a lot with her mom about her grades. One evening, Emily came home from school and her mom said, "We need to talk about your report card." Emily rolled her eyes. "I already know what you are going to say. You think I'm wasting time with music?" Her mom frowned. "Emily, I'm not saying that." Emily interrupted. "You never listen to me. I love music and it's important to me." Her mom paused. Instead of arguing back, she said, "Okay, tell me why music is so important to you." Emily was surprised. She hesitated, then said, "When I play guitar, I feel like I can express myself. It's the one thing I'm really good at." Her mom nodded. I understand. You are passionate about it, and that's great. But I worry that if you don't focus on your grades too, it might limit your options later." Emily thought about it. "So you are saying you just want me to have more opportunities?" "Yes," her mom said. "I'm not against music, but I also want you to balance it with school." For the first time in weeks, Emily felt like her mom understood her. And because her mom listened first, Emily was willing to listen too. So the lesson from Emily's story is clear. Emily's mom practiced habit number 5. Instead of arguing, she listened to Emily's feelings first. This made Emily feel heard and helped them find common ground. Habit number 6. Synergize. Have you ever noticed how a group of people working together can accomplish something amazing, something they couldn't do alone? That's the idea behind the habit number 6, synergize. Synergy means combining the strengths of different people to achieve something greater than anyone could achieve on their own. It's like teamwork, but on a whole new level. It's about celebrating differences, valuing others' ideas, and creating something better by working together. If you want to know what synergy is, then synergy is like baking a cake. Imagine you are making a chocolate cake. You need flour, sugar, eggs, cocoa, and milk. Each ingredient on its own isn't that exciting. Have you ever eaten plain flour? But when you mix them together, they create something delicious. In the same way, synergy combines people's unique strengths and ideas to create amazing results. Let me give you an example. Alex was a 10th grader at Lincoln High School. One day his teacher announced that the school would be putting on a play. Students could audition for roles, work on the set, or help with costumes and lighting. Alex loved acting and immediately signed up for the lead role. He thought he could handle everything himself because he was confident in his talent. At the first rehearsal, Alex realized the play was more complicated than he thought. The dialogue was tricky, the costumes weren't ready, and the set was just an empty stage. Alex felt overwhelmed. That's when his teacher, Mrs. Carter, said, "Alex, you don't have to do this alone. You have a whole team. Use their strengths." Alex looked around and saw that his classmates had different talents. Mia was great at painting and volunteered to design the sets. Josh loved technology and took charge of the lighting and sound. Emma was a fashion enthusiast and offered to create costumes. Ben wasn't interested in acting but had a knack for organizing and managed the schedule. By working together, the team brought the play to life. The set looked amazing. The costumes fit perfectly and the lights made every scene dramatic. When opening night came, the audience gave them a standing ovation. Alex realized that without everyone's unique talents, the play wouldn't have been such a success. So, what did you learn from Alex's story? Alex learned the power of synergy. By combining everyone's strengths, the team created something far better than he could have done alone. This is a magic of synergy. When people collaborate, they create results greater than the sum of their individual efforts. Why synergy is important? Synergy is important because it celebrates differences. People have unique talents, perspectives, and strengths. Synergy brings those differences together to create amazing results. It builds stronger teams. When people work together and value each other's contributions, they trust and respect one another. It solves problems creatively. Combining different ideas often leads to innovative solutions. Here are 3 simple steps to practice synergy. Number 1. Value differences. Everyone sees the world differently. Instead of arguing over who's right, try to understand other perspectives. For example, in a group project, listen to everyone's ideas before deciding on a plan. Number 2, focus on strengths. Use what each person is good at. Example, if one friend is great at math and another is good at writing, split tasks accordingly in a school assignment. Number 3, be open minded. Sometimes the best ideas come from unexpected places. For example, if someone suggests a creative solution you hadn't considered, give it a chance. But sometimes people avoid synergy because they think their way is best. Some people believe their ideas are better than others. They don't trust others. They are afraid others might mess things up. They don't see the value in differences. They think differences create conflict instead of strength. But when you embrace synergy, you realize that diversity and teamwork lead to the best outcomes. You know what? Synergy is like a band. Think about a music band. Each member plays a different instrument: drums, guitar, keyboard, or vocals. On their own, they can make some music. But when they play together, they create a beautiful harmony. Synergy is like that band, different people working together to create something extraordinary. Synergy is about teamwork, collaboration, and valuing differences. It's a habit that helps you work better with others, solve problems creatively, and achieve more than you ever could alone. Remember Alex and his school play? This story shows how powerful synergy can be when people combine their strengths. So next time you are working on a group project, playing a sport, or even helping out at home, ask yourself, how can we work together to create something amazing? When you embrace synergy, the possibilities are endless. And finally, habit number 7 is sharpen the saw. Imagine you are chopping down a big tree with a saw. At first, it's easy, the blade is sharp and you are making progress. But after a while, the saw becomes dull. You're working harder, but the tree isn't falling. What would you do? Stop and sharpen the saw. This is the idea behind habit number 7, sharpen the saw, from the 7 habits of highly effective people. It's about taking time to renew and recharge yourself so you can keep performing at your best. These are the 4 areas to sharpen. Physical, take care of your health by exercising, eating well, and getting enough sleep. Mind, learn new things and challenge your brain. Heart, emotional and social. Build strong relationships, show kindness, and express gratitude. Soul, reflect, meditate, or spend time in nature to connect with what inspires you. Let me tell you a final story. It's the story of Sarah and her exams. Sarah was a hardworking 10th grader. She had a big set of exams coming up, and she was determined to ace them. For weeks, she studied for hours every day, skipping meals, losing sleep, and ignoring her friends. At first, her plan worked. She finished her assignments and memorized facts. But as the exams got closer, Sarah started feeling tired and stressed. She couldn't concentrate, and even the simplest problems seemed confusing. One evening, her mom noticed her frustration and said, "Sarah, you have been working so hard, but you need to take a break. You can't pour from an empty cup." Sarah replied, "But I don't have time to rest. I need to keep studying." Her mom smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story, the lumberjack's lesson." Her mom told her about a lumberjack who was chopping down trees in a forest. He worked non-stop from sunrise to sunset, but over time, his saw became dull, and chopping down trees became harder and harder. Another lumberjack saw him struggling and said, "Why don't you sharpen your saw?" The first lumberjack replied, "I don't have time for that. I have too many trees to cut." But the second lumberjack said, "If you take a break to sharpen your saw, you'll cut trees faster and with less effort." The first lumberjack finally stopped, sharpened his saw, and finished his work in half the time. Sarah thought about the story and realized she was like the lumberjack. Her mind was the saw and it had become dull from overwork. She decided to take her mom's advice. She started to going to bed earlier, eating healthy meals, and taking short walks to relax. She also spent time talking with her friends to recharge emotionally. When exam day came, Sarah felt calm and focused. She answered the questions confidently and performed better than she expected. So, what did we learn from Sarah's story? Sharpen the saw means taking care of yourself in all areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. When you do this, you'll have the energy and clarity to handle life's challenges. How can we sharpen the saw? For physical health, exercise daily, eat nutritious food, and sleep 7 to 8 hours. For mental health, read books, solve puzzles, or learn a new skill. For emotional health, spend time with friends and family, or help someone in need. And for spiritual health, reflect, journal, or enjoy quiet time in nature. Sharpening the saw isn't about being lazy, it's about working smarter, like Sarah and the lumberjack. You'll accomplish more when you take time to renew your energy. So, Remember to pause, recharge, and keep your saw sharp. So I hope you enjoyed this summary of these 7 habits of highly effective people. If this summary inspired you or gave you new insights, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It really motivates us to bring you more amazing content. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more life-changing book summaries that can help you grow, learn, and improve every day. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content for you. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and remember to take small steps toward a better you. See you in the next video.